What is up? What is up? Getting everything all good here. Let's get to the chat. See what's going on. Let me know if you guys can hear me all right. All right, let's get this. How we doing? Can you guys hear me? Yeah, we're all right. We're all good. Awesome. We're to wait for Alex here. He's running a little bit behind schedule, but that's not gonna stop this show from going on the road. You know what I'm saying, guys? So first things first. Thank you guys so much for joining us here tonight. You could be anywhere else right now, but you guys are here. And tonight we are gonna have ourselves a conversation, okay? And ladies, like I said in the description, you guys are more than welcome to be invited to it. This mainly is just gonna be teaching guys texting game, teaching guys how to talk to women over the phone. Because guys, I don't know if you realize this, but it's an important skill that a lot of us need to learn in 2021. I got homies right now that don't even know how to talk to women properly over text. They're girls right now, bro. If you listen, the thing you guys got to understand is with text, it's a little bit difficult, right? And that's why this game is so important, because you don't have that in-person emotion there, right? You don't have that vibe. You don't have that personality that you can rely on. You basically have to learn how to convey your personality, who you are, through digitized text messages. So the best way to do it is by learning from someone who already knows and has those skills. So as soon as he pops in here, we're going to get going. But in the meantime, while we're getting everything all situated and going from there, go ahead. If you guys have any questions whatsoever you want to ask Duke, you want to ask Don or anything like that, let us know, because this is the time to do it before we go ahead and get started. 1 second. Hold up. I got to minimize this. But yeah, Alex is late again. Yeah. But yeah, let's here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. That's one of the main things that a lot of guys lack nowadays, man, is understanding game in terms of text messaging. That's one thing a lot of people find it hard. And here's the thing. In the world that where social media is going to keep going, it's gonna be a huge part, right? A lot of people are going to be looking at their lives through social media. We might as well just fucking accept it at this point, right? And people nowadays, they're being a lot more skeptical of meeting people. And I would say skeptical would be the wrong word, but I would say they're a lot more nervous. A lot of people have approach anxiety, right? In terms of meeting someone in person, or even approaching a woman in person, right? So a lot of people have that anxiety. And real talk, for the majority of men out there, easing their way through text messages and being able to convey who you are, your personality, all that stuff before you meet the girl, that's a very important skill, and it's going to lead to a better success rate while you're dating, right? So it's an important skill to learn. This is something that a lot of guys do struggle with, and Alex knows what the hell he's talking about, right? I mean, you go to his channel, look at his content, you know, some of the stuff, he even shows some of his treats. You fresh and fit stands, you're always worried about the receipts and paperwork and stuff. Go look at his YouTube channel. It's filled with the works that he's done. So that's why he's valuable to be able to come in and speak to you guys about that. Other than that, guys, all right, we got another live stream coming up right after this. All right, we got another one coming up. It's going to be with that Yende. All right, if you guys haven't a chance to see the thumbnail, it's circulating around through YouTube right now. But that thumbnail is going to be there. Click on it, or hit reminder or whatever the hell. But as soon as we're done here, we're going to move over to that one. And you definitely don't want to miss this live stream, guys, because this one we're going to be talking about, it's going to be at 9:45 Central Time, by the way. But for those of you guys watching, it's going to be directly right after this. But we're going to be talking about why is it that most modern women, I won't say most, but some modern women, why is it that they decide to get with bums right after they're done dealing with the good guy? And I think this is one of the things that a lot of guys out there who've had that situation happen to them, you guys have wondered, hey, like, yo, I'm a good guy. I'm a good person. This dude don't even have a mattress at home. What the fuck? Like, why is she with him, right? Or she decides to, okay, she leaves the good guy, she leaves you, and the next relationship she's in, she's having babies or whatever the hell, right? We're gonna have that conversation in that episode, and we're gonna do it with three beautiful ladies as usual. Get them on board so we can also get their thought process and their thinking of why they decide to get with these kind of dudes after they deal with good guys. So that's definitely a live that you don't want to miss. Who asked the question? We got a question here from who's
last one? Kiyoshi.
Kiyoshi. All right. Hey, Duke and Don, I got a question. Why do I have to learn texting game when I see it as a waste of time? I'm 18-year-old young guy. Well, that's your problem. You see it as a waste of time. So if it's something that's a waste of time to you, it's not going to be of value. But here's the thing, right? For people who here, because we're going into an age right now where people aren't approaching people, right? If it's a waste of time for you, it's only a waste of time if you truly believe that you don't have that approach anxiety, you don't have that like of skill that you go up and talk to girls, right? Because there's also in person, but you also have to understand too, a lot of girls out there, they're kind of iffy about having guys approach them. But understanding texting game is very important because that's the other half to it, right? To be able to have that other option and avenue available to you, you want to be able to open up those options. So I definitely don't think it's a waste of time, especially on knowing that personal development also includes learning how to deal with women. It's the guys who fail to learn these skills, right? Even if it's a waste of time, if you don't understand how to have the skills or you don't have it in your back pocket, there's going to be a time where it's going to be like, damn, bro, like I'm trying to meet up with this chick. You're 18 years old right now, so things are definitely going to change by the time you're getting in, and you're having more female attention and stuff like that. You're going to want to be able to know how to talk to them. You're going to want to be able to know how to read between the lines when a girl sends you a message, right? You need to know the difference between hey and like, hey, stranger, right? You need to know the difference between that, because if you don't, you'll just be as socially awkward as some of these guys who do that in person, right? You know how we have socially awkward people in person that can't get like innuendos, they can't understand nuances, they can't see different things. That'd be you in a text message. So it's basically having that skill set in your back pocket. What was that phrase? Be a master of all or nothing, whatever it is. It's in my head, but I always slip up on it.
Something of all, master of none.
Yeah. Something of all, master of none. I'm butchering the goddamn quote right now, but you want to be a jack of all trades. Fuck it, yeah. You want to be the fucking jack of all trades, man. Like literally, you know me, dude. Going through a fucking life, man. You know what my parents told me, mainly my mama, because she didn't have a whole lot of hope in me, but bless her heart, you know, she look at me now, ma, right? But she would always say, man, like you gotta focus on one thing, you gotta master at one thing, this has gotta be your life, right? And here's the thing, man, going throughout life, because I've always been the kind of guy to just dabble in one thing and then dabble in another thing, just kind of get the experience and the overall knowledge. So even when I talk to people, I can have a broad range of topics that I can deal with, right? But what I've noticed is people who tend to focus on one thing and one niche and one thing and only they fail to diversify. Well, what happens if that skill is no longer needed? What happens if it's no longer necessary now? You've invested all that time and all that effort into one skill. You can even add it to like something like the job market, right? People who spend 10, 20 years, like they put in 25 to life at a corporation, and let's say something happens and their job has to be like basically slashed, right? Well, guess what? They don't have any other skills, and those are the kind of guys that go in unemployment, right? Those are guys who fail to teach themselves how to learn different things, right? So you definitely want to be the jack of all trades, because if this one thing doesn't work, at least you have enough experience in the other thing to carry you over into the new situation. So I think that's very important. And when we get Alex up in here to talk about it, bro, you're gonna get a whole new experience, guys. What? Bro, I mean, look at this. Everybody's wearing masks now, bro. You can't even tell if a chick looks good. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, what the fuck is this? It's so fucking important, bro. Because like literally, a lot of people. Look, guys. Women are more afraid of this whole Delta thing and whatever the fuck they're talking about more than guys are. More guys are willing to go out and do this stuff. So here's the thing: you got to be able to properly convey your personality through a text message, man, and be able to read shit. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get it. What's up? Oh, can you go check who that is? But let's go. Oh shit, we got Alex back here. Oh snap, let's go ahead and get this thing started. Alex, what is up, my man?
Yo, man, my apologies for the lateness. I saw
No
some
worries, dog.
saying Alex is late again. So
Yeah, that was like one of the first first comments of my boy's late. Like, what's going on?
yeah.
Whoa, dude, welcome to the stream. I was just telling one of our guys here, man, about the and I think maybe if you want to answer this question for him, right? Because the whole topic right now we're talking about why is it important for guys to invest in learning texting game and Tinder game and things like that, right? So he's basically asking, well, why? Hey, Duke and Don, I got a question. Why do I have to learn texting game when I see it as a waste of time? I'm an 18-year-old young guy. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's like the businessman. That's like an older businessman saying, "Why do I have to learn social media marketing? I already have a successful business model. I've been making money. Why do I need to know social media marketing?" It's like I don't really care for it. But if you want to be competitive with other businesses, you do need to know Facebook, Instagram, and social media marketing. There's no way around it. It's the same thing. If you want to be competitive with other guys your age, you have to learn texting. It doesn't matter. The why is because it's here to stay. Whether you like it or not is irrelevant. It is what it is. You have to accept reality as what it is. So for better or for worse, it's here to stay. So we can talk about whether it's a good thing or it's a bad thing, but everyone has to learn it. Otherwise, you're just not going to be competitive with other guys.
Go ahead. Yeah,
behind your back.
That's facts. It's one of those things I was telling him, like, you got to be able to understand the skills, man. This is where the world's heading. Before it's like you got to learn, be able to learn pickup game because we didn't have cell phones and social media like that. So you actually had to go up and approach a lady, get a number and things like that. Social media is only recent, and it's one of the smart things to do is to kind of get ahead of this trend, right? Be able to understand how to convey yourself through text messaging. All right, who are you? How does a woman before she even knows you, how does she already get an idea to, okay, this is the kind of guy he is, okay, he's kind of funny or whatever, how does she get an idea of your personality before she even comes in and meet you? You got to learn how to be able to do all that. And a lot of guys, and I don't know if you can speak on this, Alex, but I feel like a lot of guys lack this skill or severely fail at the skill.
A lot of guys are bad at texting. A lot of guys are bad at cold approach. A lot of guys are bad at a lot of things involving women. I don't know if it's just texting per se, but I do have a lot of clients who are like, yeah, man, I just suck at texting. So I do get a lot of guys like that. But the good thing is once you get good at it, you're not going to hate it as much. You're actually going to like it. You're going to be like, oh, this is easy. I can pick up chicks while I take a shit, like you can't do that with cold approach, right? So once you only hate it because you're not that good at it. But once you get good at it, you're actually going to probably like it. Chances are.
So why is that? Why is that guys are failing to either not pick the skill up or they're just not naturally good at just getting on it? Or see, like, because for instance, when a guy texts his buddies or whatever the fuck, right? It's not as crazy. They're not as crazy as texting them. They can do it just fine. But when it comes to a woman like texting a girl, maybe it's a girl he just met or a girl he's trying to DM. Why is it that they fail so much at it?
Lots of bad habits. That's a big part of it. For example, I'm assuming you're not trying to like bang your buddies, right? So you're not like.
Assuming, yeah, not your friends, not your friends, but like in a manner how comfortable and how like when you text a friend or like approach a friend and stuff like that, when you're messaging them and stuff like that, it's not. You're not like, oh well, you're not overthinking it, right? Because one thing I noticed, a lot of guys they overthink what to send a woman.
When you start overthinking, usually that's when you fuck up. But also a lot of guys also are not that good at communicating with other men. Like, for example, I have a lot of guys who like, I don't know, DM me or send me emails trying to like, work with me and whatnot. And like some of the approaches are terrible. Like I get like, hey man, help me come up with the next text. It's the first time I ever talked to the guy and they send me like 30 screenshots. Oh, great. Let me just spend an hour of my life just going through like, it's not like, hey man, I like your channel. Can I ask you for advice? It's like, yo man, give me the next line here. Like 30 screenshots. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So a lot of men or then like if I don't respond in half an hour, they like try to use like some of my lines on me. If you're too nervous, I understand. Like, I'm like, not gonna work.
You're all crazy, man.
So I don't know if it's just guys are bad at communicating with women. It's just guys are bad at communicating when they want something. When you don't want something, like if you're texting your friends because you already think that they're going to be there for you no matter what, so you're not worried about, so thus you're a little bit more chill versus when you're going after something you want like women or business contacts or whatever, unless you know how to communicate effectively, you might fall into some bad habits like neediness, like not really knowing how to word what you're saying. So there's a lot of bad habits I see that guys fall into, and neediness is a huge one.
Yeah, can you go into that?
Yeah, of course. Neediness is basically when you're just like you're just like sweating that other person. You're like, oh my God, I need that person to respond to me. Let's take it, for example, for a girl. A guy texts a girl and the girl doesn't respond. And it's been like an hour and he's like fucking just flipping out. He's like, oh my God. I
Yeah.
fucked up. He's like pacing around the apartment like Rocky. And then eventually he just double texts her, hey, blah, 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 blah. And then she doesn't respond to that. So half an hour later, he triple texts her. And then he quadruple texts her. And then she was like, maybe she was like just taking a nap or something. And then she wakes up and she sees like a stream of text. And she's like, yeah, this guy's needy as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
this guy's going to be crazy. I don't want to have anything to do with him. Whereas if you just left it alone after the first text, she would have responded. So, yeah, I mean, it's just you got to, like, if you're a needy guy, you have to be able to control it. You have to be able to take a step back and just recognize I'm being needy right now. I'm going to let this sit for 24 hours. Then if she doesn't respond, I can re-engage her. But like, you know, you have to have like set some rules for yourself and you have to like master your emotions.
Yeah. Now, do you think that part of that goes into that neediness part? You think it's like the instant gratification aspect of it too, where guys are just like, yo, like I just texted her, like, why isn't she texting me back type of stuff, right?
Yeah, because when that girl responds, you get that dopamine rush, right? So you get that ooh, and it's kind of like you're like almost chasing that. And, it's like a low level drug, like a very, very minor drug. It's like that text back from the girl. And so you're just like kind of chasing that high, quote unquote.
Yeah, the little dopamine. Oh shit, she just hit me up. Like, well, what should I say? So that's a good point, man. Because like, here's the thing, yeah, right? Like, yo, guys, come on, yeah. But one thing I wanted to ask too, because like it goes to that whole like neediness a factor too as well. So what kind of things? Because you mentioned one thing where it's like just let it sit for however long and whatnot. So what are other tips that you should look at? So a guy gets some text from a girl, right? Girl, like let's say he either met her, hit her up on DM or something like Instagram, and she responds, and he's going back and forth, right? So that neediness factor, one of the things you said, okay, set the phone down for however many hours, right? Now, what is the if you want to go into the mentality behind that, like why is it important for guys to just say, hey, just take a step back and chill for a second, right? What are some important things that can come out of that?
Well, basically what you're trying to do is think about like a high value guy, like a celebrity or Dan Bilzerian, you know, someone who gets a lot of pussy, right?
Yeah.
Someone we know gets a lot of pussy. Now, would that person, if one chick doesn't text him back, would he freak out? He doesn't care. He's talking to 100 girls. He doesn't give a shit. Is he going to be constantly checking his phone? No, because he has a lot of shit going on, right? So basically what you're trying to do is you're almost trying to mimic that kind of behavior. And because you're not at that point yet, you don't have a lot of girls, right? And you're not doing a lot of shit. You're probably just sitting around your apartment, right? But you're mimicking that by taking some time off, right? Ideally, you want to get to a person where you are like legitimately busy. Like for me, it's pretty easy. I don't have to do like rules like to myself, like, oh, I'm not gonna text her back because I just don't check my phone that often because I'm just usually running around and shit, right?
Yeah,
various things. So when you're busy, I'm not even like a celebrity or anything like that. I just try to live a busy life. So when you're busy, it's pretty easy. Like you don't have to set conscious rules for yourself. But if you don't have a lot of shit going on, then you have to artificially manufacture that environment to come off as that high value guy who has shit going on, and not just like some guy who sits on his phone all day.
More to the story, guys. Get busy and don't pretend to be busy. Just go do something. Show that you actually have a life outside of this, man. Because that way you're not showing her that, yo, I'm waiting on your every word. Because if you want to go into that too, what are those kind of behaviors? What does that signify to a girl, right? Because you mentioned one point where she's like, oh my God, this guy might be like a total freak out or total creep. You know, he's coming off super needy. What other ideas would that girl start to get when a guy starts, you know, loading up on text messages or doing all these other weird things?
They assume you're a stalker, even though that's not usually the case. They just assume you're a stalker. They assume you're a weirdo. They at best they will assume that you just have like no life and that you're just like kind of like a loser who doesn't have a lot of options. That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, they assume you're a stalker.
Yeah. So guys, find something busy to do, right? Just go get a hobby, go get something to do, man. Like don't sit there and just wait for the chick to, you know, text you back, because otherwise
watch my YouTube videos. I have so many.
Watch his YouTube videos, man. Can we see if we can put that in the description or put that in the chat or something like that? Playing with fire. Yeah, let's get that in there. No, seriously, you guys got to go watch his stuff, man. Because I was saying, like, he breaks all this like messages down and stuff like that too. And one thing that he also does that I find very, very interesting, and you guys should be paying attention to, he also breaks down like he's not telling you exactly the next steps, because obviously what's working for him 100% is going to work for you. But the idea behind it, because he describes when a girl sends a message, right? He kind of breaks that down. Okay, this is what she actually means, right? And then so forth and so forth. So that way, those you guys who are thinkers, like, use your fucking brain, right? Take some of the ideas and spin it into your own thing. Don't just sit there and say, okay, well, let me go try the hey, that opener you sent me didn't work, man. Like, what's going on? Like, you gotta be you, man. You gotta figure out how to sell yourself, but use those same ideas. Like, what would you add to that, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, you just get to a point. Ideally, you can get to a point where you can beat the girl at her own game, right? So, like, I get like almost like a little like for example, like let's say a girl messages me and I just like her message, right? Because I'm trying to elicit a certain response. I know that she's probably going to double text me because I just robbed her of validation, right? If I by just liking her message. So I pulled the chick move on a chick, right? I got that idea from girls because initially when I was texting, girls would just like my message or like make me frustrated, right? I'd be like, this is fucking annoying. Like, this is not a response. And I had to fight my urge to kind of like persist, right? So I was like, oh, well, what if I try this on other girls? And it worked. Usually they do like start chasing and investing and whatnot. So it's like you almost get like this like kind of sick pleasure from like you just like, okay, let me see. Like, she's gonna double text. She's gonna double text.
Yeah.
Pick your phone now later. Oh, double text. Yeah, I don't know. You just want to be like the chess grandmaster. You're kind of like puppeteering like your little text interactions from behind the screen.
That's facts, man. So how okay, like the kid we had earlier, right? Talking about, okay, why is this important? Because clearly he doesn't see the value of it. You kind of explain, well, you haven't tried it enough yet, so you're not going to know. But as a someone who's, I would say, has zero experience with this, completely awkward when he talks to chicks, gets ghosted a lot, right? How would that person, I mean, aside from practice, let's say, how would you take that person from where he's at right now, being, come with the shitty ass openers and stuff like that, to a point where he can start understanding at least the concept behind, the game itself, like knowing when to message, things like that. How do you coach that kind of stuff?
Yeah, there'll be a few things. I think the first thing is you gotta get that person a series of wins, because if you keep losing, you get discouraged. I see this all the time with beginners. Like, you go out there and you spend a few months like kind of hitting your head against the wall and you get discouraged.
Yeah.
Now, some people will go much longer before getting discouraged. And I think I might be one of those people where I can go longer than the average person without getting discouraged. But I think that a lot of people, I have to recognize that most people get discouraged fast. So you gotta get that person some wins. Set up some easy situations for him. Like, for example, I'm just trying to think of like a good example. Like, let's say it's like my roommate or something like that. Like, let's say I get like, for some random reason, I decide to live with like a beginner, whatever. Let's say I don't know. His family owns a gold mine or something like that. Like, it's some kind of crazy imagine for me. So I'm living that, he's kind of like, yeah, man, I'm told beginner, blah, blah, blah. So maybe the first interaction, I'll even help him set up for it. I'll be like, okay, I'll do the texting for you on this one. I'll help you get a girl straight over. He gets slayed. He's like, oh shit, this texting thing works. Yeah. Okay. Next one, why don't you try it on your own? And if you feel stuck, then you come to me and then I'll help you. And then you just generally like withdraw. And that's what I try to do with guys in my mastermind group. Like, I help them, but then I try to like help them get to a point where they can do it on their own.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that person needs to get like some wins under their belt. They do the same thing with boxers. They don't like start them off with like their, they get them like the easy layups, so they beat that person.
Yep. Tune-up fights. Yep.
Yeah. So you kind of do the same thing, get some easy wins. Like, for example, when I coach a virgin, I've coached quite a few, and with them, I always say like, okay, let's start off with just like the easiest fucking situations. Let's set up a straight to the house date with a chick from Tinder who you can get laid, you can lose your virginity. Then you can start doing some public dates. Then you can start doing some cold approach. But like, let's not have you go to like hardcore fancy nightclubs where it takes a high level of game to even be competitive.
Yeah.
Just like consistently fail and just like reinforce the cycle that you're a loser and you're a loser.
Yeah.
So you got to break people out of their cycles being a loser. And then ideally you got to get them interested in other aspects besides just girls. Fitness is a good one, right?
Okay.
Getting fit gets you girls.
Take notes, guys. Take notes.
So if you can get someone into like working out and shit, now they have like another passion. Ideally, because when it doesn't work out with a girl, ideally you have something else back to follow on. Like, it didn't work out. If chicks are your whole life, then it's like easy to get like to go through these highs and lows. High when you get laid and a big low when you don't. And the fact of the matter is, no matter how good you are, you will get rejected.
Yeah.
But if you have diversified interests, like, for me, for example, I have fitness, I have my friends, I have my channel, I have my business and whatnot. So when I get rejected, it's not really a big deal because I just have a whole solid core to fall back on. I'm like, oh, well, doing good. I got, my dog is fucking looking at me. Looks all cute. So, yeah, I mean, I would say that diversifying your interests is good. Doesn't mean you have to. But I do think that when guys make their whole life focus just getting pussy, that can become problematic because they go through these highs and lows.
Yeah.
Kind of went on a tangent there.
No, that was good. No, that's good because like you're hitting a bunch of important information, especially because here's the thing, and I want to even go a little deeper into that too with the whole like because when we talk about we hear in these big red pill spaces, some of these other crazy motherfuckers, right? They're talking about a lot of guys right now they're not getting laid, this and that, which there's a lot of truth to that. And let's just be real, majority of guys aren't really doing it like that. So, and you also mentioned a very important thing. You said your amount of the virgins coming in and taking your classes and stuff like that. What are the common themes that you notice amongst all these guys like that are in that group that haven't had sexual experience with a girl or like even contact with women in a way that you coach them to? Like, what are some common themes that you notice in that?
Yeah, that's a good question. The common theme, there's a few. One is that they have some bad ideas stuck in their head. They're convinced that it's because of this thing when it's completely not because of that thing. They'll be convinced. I'm trying to think of a good example. Like one guy he was convinced that it was because he wasn't like grounded enough and he needs to do more meditation.
Whoa!
Guys,
give me more women.
I know it sounds kind of funny, right? But like to him in his head, it was like that's what he thought it was. And when we like broke down the issue turned out to be that he was like literally never going for the close, so he was just chatting up girls. And I'm like, no, the issue here is that you're not closing. Like you have to ask for the phone number. You can't just end it off on like, okay, cool, nice to meet you. So yeah, guys are often convinced it's like some weird thing that's called or something they heard from some random dating coach 5 years ago on the internet. You see this a lot with the black pill community. Like they're convinced that it's because I'm not a perfect Chad. Because I'm 6 feet tall. It's because I have like this tiny little thing and whatever. Or whatnot. So that's a big one. They have incorrect beliefs. 2 is that they're taking either not enough action or taking the wrong kind of action. Usually it's not enough. I see this time again. I'll be like, okay, so which dating apps you're on? I'm like, I'm not really on any of them at the moment. I'm like, why not? Like, I don't know. I wasn't getting many matches. I was like, all right, but like a few matches is still better than no matches. Why would you just not stay on them?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't, $15 a month, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so guys are not taking enough action. They're not really like going out there and like actually have enough leads coming in the funnel. And they think like,
yes.
They're like,
I'm agreeing. No, I'm agreeing with you.
I talked to 2 girls, last week. I'd be like, that's not enough. Like, you got to talk to 20 girls a week. Like I have like 20, I get like 20, 30 matches a day. Like you have to run high volume. And guys are running volume that's way too low. And thus they're getting very inconsistent results. 3, they're wasting their time on the wrong kinds of girls. They're wasting their time. They're not good at screening. They're wasting time on time wasters and chicks who are just looking for like this and that. They're not screening correctly. They're just wasting their time on the wrong kinds of girls. I see this time and time again as well.
Can we go into that? I want to go into that because I think that's going to be very important for a lot of guys who are listening. So describe the type of girls that a lot of these guys who are just starting out, they tend to miss the signs that they can tend to miss in these kinds of girls. The type of girls and the signs that these guys miss when they interact with these girls and waste their time.
Yeah, I mean, you generally want girls who are like high investment. You want a girl who's going to be, investing in the conversation. She's not just writing you one-word answers, like small paragraphs. She's not small paragraphs, small like sentences. She's actually investing in the conversation. She's asking you questions, right? She's hinting that she wants, to move things forward. Guys will focus on like the low investment chick, like the chick who's giving them one-word answers, and they don't give enough priority to the chick who's like, who's actually much more interested in meeting. Like those chicks should go to the very top of the list. Like the chicks, everything in terms of like hotness and mostly investment. Like how invested is this girl? Low investment girls I barely bother with. Like I don't. It's like a waste of time. Most of the time it doesn't pan out. So yeah, this kind of goes back to what Ayande was saying, but he like screens very aggressively. Probably screens much more aggressively than I do. Like you do need some element of screening. because you don't want to waste your time on chicks who they're just not interested. They either have a boyfriend or they just want.
They don't realize a lot of girls go on there just to fuck around too. They're not really interested in doing shit. It's just like let me see what I can do with this dude. That's a lot of times too. When you guys are dealing with that, there's some chicks on there that are just there. It's just fun for them, man. See what kind of attention they can do, and they don't have any intentions of actually meeting or dealing with you. So you also got to keep that in mind. Like these are signs that you got to keep track of. And one thing I was thinking about too, because I was like, when you talking about like girls who don't show a whole lot of high investment, right? It takes me back to some of these, because I've been studying some of these fake guru dating coaches too, and some of the weird little tactics that they try to talk about, right? Do you think that a lot of times part of the reason, not saying all of the reason, that guys focus on not the low interest kind of girls, right, is they feel like that due to some of these weird counselings, they have to try to figure out how to work game to all of a sudden flip her to her side. You see what I'm saying? Like get her from like low investment to high investment, and then they waste their time just doing all that shit.
Yeah, I think it's a few things. I think one is that human nature is we want what's not easy to have. So if a girl makes it, I've heard so many clients say, yeah, but I don't know, this girl, she seems like kind of into me, so I lost interest. I'm like, why? That's a good thing. Yeah, like they want the girl that's like hard to get, which is dumb.
Yeah.
You have to snap yourself out of that. Like, I understand that's like how some humans are wired, but it's super dumb if you think about it logically. You want what? You want the chick who's going to make it hard for you. I want the chick who's going to make it easy for me. But
yeah,
that's the first thing. The second thing is I think a lot of guys don't even really understand what is possible with game and what is not possible. So I'll make it very simple. There's things that are not possible with game, and we're talking about averages. Of course, there's going to be fringe situations where you can turn something crazy around. Yes, I've had those myself. But just like in terms of averages, you're not going to take a girl who is not interested in you and make her super interested in you through text game. That's not going to happen. Vast majority of the time. What you can do is you can take a chick who's moderately interested in you and make her very invested in you. You can take a chick who's sort of invested and make her moderately invested. You can also take a chick who's very invested and make her not invested at all by fucking it up. That you can do.
That's true.
You're not going to take a chick who's like, she's just not interested for whatever reason, and you're not going to make her super interested the vast majority of the time.
Yeah.
And again, there's some exceptions to this, but like that is just going to be a waste of time scenario.
No, those are valid points, guys. You gotta know how to, it's like sales, man. When you mentioned that, that's why I was vibing it so hard. You mentioned you got to open up your goddamn funnels, guys. It's all about your funnels. It's a lead system. You got to have all these leads coming in so you can figure out, okay, how to, because then you're gonna have a continuous amount of people coming in and filtering through. So that way you don't feel bad at only talking to one girl a week, right? Or one girl a day, guys. You got to keep trying. You guys don't realize that part of the reason why you guys fail in terms of even approaching and dealing with women is the fact that we don't try enough. All right. And I get it, man. We got the approach anxiety. We got the fear of rejection or actually going up and trying and being rejected, right? It's all that stuff accumulated. But you got to understand, if you really want this, man, you got to go through that. And once you come out the other side, you understand this is like, yo, women ain't shit. Just like I'm not shit. Like, why did I spend all this fucking time building all this craziness in my head and all to find out it's just another person, man? Like, this is crazy. So you guys got to understand that. And that's by humbling yourself and understanding, like, yo, it's not that crazy. Let me just go ahead and relax. Let me get rid of all that horny kind of weird kind of energy you guys have, and just chill and then do it, man. And that's the thing. Don't quit when you don't get a response. Don't overtest when you don't get the kind of response you want. You got to understand that, okay, maybe she's not texting you back in an hour is because she's probably not all that interested. All right. And that's why you got to understand how to separate all that. Right. So let's dive into it a little bit. Let's say a guy who's starting out and he wants to be able to go from, all right, getting her from Tinder, matching with her on Tinder, to be able to having her coming over to his crib. What and how would you help them with that stage, or what would you say that person should do?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let me think of the best way to break this down. Well, I think it comes down to a few things, and part of that would be sexualizing to some extent. That doesn't mean going like sexting her. I just mean sexualizing really runs the gamut. It can be like subtle little innuendos where the girl says like, yeah, I went to the water and I was like, I went to the ocean today, and you'd be like, it got nice and wet for me, right? It's like a little fun, like play
yeah.
It's like much more innocent than saying, oh baby, are you wet right now? And touching your pussy, right? there's levels to sexualization. So I'm not saying you have to go to like the high level. There should be some level of sexualization. I think sexualization should start with your profile. That's why I like to put a few sexual elements into my bio. And I like to have a shirtless photo. If you're in good shape, you get a shirtless photo. That's like the big misconception is that shirtless photos are douchey. No,
yeah.
I mean,
or bathroom pics.
Maybe they are, but they help. So yeah, if you're in decent shape, get a shirtless photo. That was like one of the big game changers for me when I was first getting into Tinder. So yeah, so I like to sexualize with my profile. So when a girl matches me, she already kind of knows what's up. So another big misconception that guys have is that women don't like when guys are sexual. You know, women want guys who are respectful and whatnot. No, what women don't want is they don't want to be like bait and switch. They don't want to like sign up for the nice guy and get like the sexual creep, right? That's what they want. But if the guy is pretty upfront and like sexual from the start, he's like, again, doesn't mean like being a pervert, being like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck that.
Yeah, because some guys, y'all be real fucking awkward with your shit. Just be real, right, y'all? y'all just say some wild shit, man. Like real talk.
It's gotta be socially calibrated for sure.
But I've seen some DMs from dudes, bro, and it's just like,
yeah. But anyway, so. But yeah, so girl, if you are semi upfront and her profile gives her the vibe that you're already kind of like a pretty sexual guy, you know, you have some game, you have some experience with women, you know, specifics. Okay, like how do I do that? Like in my bio, I say dominant and I say BDSM, right? Just two buzzwords. Girls quite often will open me and be like, "Ooh, what kind of BDSM are you into?" Like that starts the conversation off on a sexual front right away. That conversation is super easy to sexualize.
Yep.
Just an example. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing is probably, you know, just once you get the conversation started, I typically don't go sexual right away. I typically just kind of do a little bit of banter, and then I try to sexualize it again, like in fun, flirty way. So innuendo and humor can be like a big one. Like I'm trying to think of another example. She might say something like, you know, like, yeah, you know, I was stuck in traffic. It was fucking hard out there. I was like, that's what she said. You know, like there's ways to do with humor where you don't go from 0 to 100, right?
Yeah.
Then typically I'll kind of just like slowly just dial up the bun until I get to kind of her like limit. You know, every girl has a limit of how sexual she wants to go over text, right? When I feel like I've hit her limit, I kind of dial it back. Once I got her sexually invested, it's pretty easy at that point. I'll just invite her over my place for a bottle of wine. Honestly, I'll say, "Do you like wine?" She'll say, "Yeah, no, I do," because every chick likes wine.
Always get a stash, guys.
Yeah, no, I have a big bar here, and then I'll say, "Cool, we should split balls sometime soon," and just assuming it's at my place, and then just get her over. I mean, some chicks will not come straight to your place, even if they're DTF for safety reasons. So in that case, I'll meet her at the bar nearby, talk to her for half an hour, establish I'm a normal human being, and then I'll pull her. But yeah, it can be pretty straightforward. It's a lot easier than I think some people make it out to be.
Yeah. So one of the questions I have, because you actually brought up a really cool point, and I want to get into the mentality of it so guys can understand. How did you get to that point that you were able to like fire back at these innuendos, right? And be able to like take what a lot of like some certain situations that a girl would text you and then kind of like spin it off into a sexual have a little sexual undertone to it. How did you get to that point where you can like just kind of know?
Two things. One, not giving a fuck. I just for a long time I haven't cared. I don't really care if I fuck up a lead. And whenever I do get a girl who's like super hot and I start thinking about, oh shit, I hope I don't fuck this one up, I'm like, oh, snap out of it. Doesn't matter. The other hot girls.
You shouldn't care, guys.
As soon as you start thinking, I hope I don't fuck this one up, you're gonna fuck it up. So that's like as soon as you start, you got to kind of scrap those thoughts from your head. Like, oh, this chick, like when you start putting the girl on the pedestal who you haven't met, like, oh, you know, this chick seems really cool. She seems a little different.
And that's the one thing. How? You don't even know her, bro. Like, how would you know? Like, what is? I was like, some of my homies like they'll show me. They're like, oh, dude, I think she's pretty cool. Like, you look, there's a picture of her hiking, dude. I like the hike. I'm like, but you don't even know her, bro. She could be a total asshole. Like, you don't know. You guys got. That's the thing. When you guys look at looks, man, as guys, we tend to build these crazy worlds in our heads about the woman that we see just based off her beauty. But that's the one thing especially that fucks us up in this game, because you're actually giving yourself approach anxiety. Real talk. Like, that's what you're doing, because you're building building this person up into your head that you don't even know that it is. And let's say you do approach the girl, right? A lot of girls can feel that, bro. Like they can feel all that weird ass fucking expectations you have. And some girls, they don't want to deal with that because they're like, yo, you're making judgments on me. You don't even know me. I could just ban 50 dudes before I came in and met you. But you think I'm great. You think I'm cool and shower me all this stuff. So it's one thing you guys got to understand, man. But go ahead.
Yeah, people will generally act whatever role you put them in. Like, for example, you put the girl in this like holier than thou, like angel category. She'll like start to act like it for a little bit, and that means not giving you sex. You treat her like a dirty little slut who wants to suck your dick. Chances are she'll become that girl within enough time. So, frame is very powerful. But kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier. Where was it? Oh, what was it? The question initially?
Oh no, we're taking the steps to get them to your place, right? So in terms of being able to use certain things, not the last start was not giving a fuck, like when you're messaging.
Oh, right. So,
like because we're talking about your mindset on that.
Okay, gotcha. The mindset. Yeah. So it came down to two things: one, not giving a fuck and not being afraid to fail, so just trying a bunch of shit, and two, just pattern recognition. Because I've been on dating apps and been in the game for so long, and because I've coached so many people, that like expedites. That's like pattern recognition on steroids. That like a very strong level of pattern recognition in my mind. So when I see vast majority of interactions, my mind, on subconscious level, links it back to something that happened maybe 3 months ago where it was similar. And I'm like, okay, I said this and this thing worked, and I got this response. It was the same type of thing, and then just and it all happens on a subconscious level. So a very high level of pattern recognition, that I've developed, just from doing this for, God knows how long.
Yeah. So what would you say, guys, to start being able to develop that, right? Obviously, you got yours with experience in dealing with that, but should guys be also like kind of what we talked about before, like the field room, right? Not the field room. What do you go? The film room, right? Where you go back, assess what you've done with your day, how you approach the situation, right? Would you say that the best way for guys to start developing that, the basis for pattern recognition is kind of reviewing how they approach a certain situation or how they acted or behaved? Like, what would you say would be a way for guys right now who are fresh to start actually developing those skills?
Yeah. Well, first of all, have realistic expectations. Like, you're not going to have like the same level of pattern recognition as me, just simply because I've been doing it longer, right? Like, I will never be as good as like a bodybuilder because I haven't been training for as long, like a professional bodybuilder and whatnot. Like, I don't compare myself to Joe Rogan, right? Host, because he's been doing it longer. He's definitely better than me, right? So, like, you have to have like reasonable expectations. Like, if your expectation is like, I want to come up with something as witty as Alex, then that's like, you're gonna be unless you're a super witty person. I don't know, maybe you are.
Yeah.
What would I do if I was just starting out? I would say, one, again, develop that I don't give a fuck attitude. Like, don't give a shit if you fail, if you fuck it up, if you make the girl, I want to say, like, don't give a fuck if you make the girl uncomfortable, but like, don't give a fuck. Just don't give a fuck, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is try to learn from your mistakes and try to learn from other people's successes. So I like to look at, when I was, my way of learning is really through examples. So everyone has different learning styles. I really learned best through seeing examples. So when I was like kind of learning text game, I would try to look at other people's lay reports, and I would try to like literally go through the screenshots. And that was what helped me learn the most. So again, just depends on your learning style. Well, that was always the best for me. Fortunately, on playingfire.com, I have like hundreds of lay reports for free with all those from start to finish. So you have like no shortage of like examples to learn from. And that's like so many videos. Again, like, you don't have to spend a single dollar to like kind of do that. Learn by examples. Another thing is get feedback. Get feedback from people who know what they're doing on, what you're doing, right? That can also guide the process. Doesn't have to be me. It can be like, if you have a buddy who's really good at texting, like, you just get feedback from him. But anyone who's good at like explaining things and who can, actually has mastered something, you can get feedback from them on that. So that would be kind of the approach I would take. Again, just don't give a fuck. Try a lot of shit. Learn through whatever way you learn the best. For me, it's examples, and then get feedback.
Now, you mentioned a really important part too as well, and not being afraid to have someone be able to criticize your work too as well. How important would you say is that particular piece, having someone else, a third party, just look at you and say, hey, that game was whack, or just say, hey, bro, like that was actually good? How is it important to have that third party observer or like that mentor to help you out?
Depends on you. If you're a person who is really quick and can pick up from their own mistakes, then I don't think it's that necessary. If you're like a lot of people and you're just like kind of like you're just like I don't get this, like then it is important.
Yeah, you got to have someone like back there telling you guys what's up. But I won't say telling you guys what's up, but like at least coaching you guys in the right direction and being able to hold you accountable. I would say accountability would be the most important thing. Like, yo, you probably shouldn't have said that. Back to the fucking drawing board and figure something else out. That's one thing you guys want to know. If you got a best friend, right? You got a buddy, guys. You got to before you even send a text, just say, hey, what does this look like? Does it look good? Does it sound good? Right? Be able to do that. But if you're not confident, if your friend isn't really fucking, he's not sure himself, it'd be a good time for you guys to invest in a mentor, invest in someone that's going to be able to help you out. It's 2021, man, and beyond, we're all going to be in that digital life. So this is where something, if this is a skill you don't have, this is a skill you need to learn. Like, every guy needs to learn this. And you guys, even guys who are in relationships and things like that, you also need to know how to communicate your wife via text and be able to spark that kind of that little mood a little bit, maybe before she's at work and she's on her way home or something like that. Sending messages throughout the day to be able to keep that up, right? That's also important. Different things like that. Even when let's say you're in a relationship and you get divorced and stuff like that, getting back into the dating market, it's something that you want to be able to have in your back pocket. So you want to be able to learn how to talk to women and convey your personality through text messages. Now, speaking of that, how can men go about doing that? Letting the girl know that he's not a creep before she meets up with them.
Well, I think that you don't want to go into it with that assumption that I have to prove to her that I'm not a creep, right?
Okay.
That's just like you're starting like it's an incorrect assumption. I think you want to. I just try to. My style has always been. I don't know if this is correct or not, but my style has always been to like assume a positive outcome and act as if. So I just assume that she thinks I'm cool, and I act as if.
Yeah.
That's kind of always been my style. So I'm not a big fan of like trying to prove anything to a girl because that just by itself is kind of lower value. Just like proving something to you. Like imagine like I don't know, like imagine like someone wanted to collab with you and you're like, yeah, sure, man, I'm down. And you're like, okay, well, let me tell you why I'm awesome. You'd be like, like it's just kind of like a turn off.
Wait, talk about, bro. I could just watch your content to make that sense for myself.
Right. That's exactly what you said. I can just watch your content. So to me, it's like she can just feel my personality through my messaging and through when we hang out. So I don't have to prove to her anything. Like I know I'm a normal, cool guy. So that's gonna just like translate through. That's kind of like the mindset I've always had.
So one other thing I want to add to this too. How important is like getting your social media game? My social media game, I'm talking about like your Instagram, for example. Let's say you link that to Tinder or something like that. How important is that? Let's say a girl wants to figure out, all right, who the fuck is this dude? Right, I'm going through his profile. Let's look at his IG. Let's see what's happening and stuff. Or you guys are swapping content and stuff like that. How important is that for a guy to at least have their social media upright or something like that? How important do you think in your book?
I think it's fairly important, but you can do it without it. Like, for example, one of my good buddies, John Anthony, he doesn't have an Instagram. He's banged 1,400 girls. So I think you can do it without it. I know other people who don't have any kind of social media and they bang a lot of chicks, but I do think it's a huge advantage if you do have your social media on point.
Okay, so what are okay, I wouldn't say more steps guys can take, because that'd be like a little bit outside of it, but that's very important, guys. You at least gotta have some moderate skills in understanding social media. That's another avenue where people can get to know who you are. If you want to talk about conveying your personality and conveying your lifestyle, that's another avenue, because okay, this guy has an Instagram. Okay, he's actually an active lifestyle. He's a biker. He's done fucking marathons or some shit, or he's a weightlifter, or he's active with people, things like that. It's just another avenue for women who are interested in you, or who have some level of interest, are going to be able to see more of your lifestyle. And another thing that I want to even just go into, because here's one thing I noticed with a lot of guys, they like in terms of setting up their Tinder profile or their dating profile, right? How important is that in your opinion? What are steps? You kind of already mentioned it with the shirtless pic, whatnot, but we can actually go into depth in it. Like, how should a person set up their profile in order to be able to get more matches or increases his likelihood of matches?
Yeah, that's a good question. It really comes down to primarily your photos. So I would say you want to start off with solid photos. Okay, what is a solid photo? I actually have broken this down to 3 things. It's actually quite simple. I used to overcomplicate it for a long period of time, but then I had an epiphany one day when I was coaching a guy who was like really having a hard time understanding this. He was like, bro, just explain this to me in a simple way. I was like, all right, 3 things. And then I was like, oh shit, I like this analogy. So 3 things. 1, that you look good in the photo. So for example, you want to, let's say like I'm a 7, right? I think that's fairly fair. I want in my photo, I want to look like a 7.5 or an 8. What most guys do is if they're 7, they look like a 5. It goes the other way. So let's just kind of do like a little experiment. So take a look at my face now. Look at my face now. This is me trying to smile. I don't look that fucking good. Like I just made myself look worse by doing that, right? So don't do that. Like don't try to like fake a smile or fake a facial expression. That's not. So you want to try to look better, and this comes down to lighting, angles, and all of that. This is something that chicks have known about for decades. Lighting, angles can play a huge difference. You're not going to take a guy who's a 5 and make him a 10, but you can take a guy who's a 5 and make him like a 6.5. And you can take someone who's a 7 and make him like an 8.5 or 9 with a good lighting, camera, and angles. That's the first. The second thing is you want to look natural in your photo. So you want to look not post. So the last thing girls want is like this type of photo, right? You want to look like just like you were doing some cool activity.
Yeah.
Someone just popped out of nowhere and took a picture of you. You didn't even know they were there. That's like the kind of the vibe you're going for. And it's a little bit of a catch-22 because it's like, well, I don't do any cool shit, so how can I get natural photos? So there's a solution to that. Fake it till you make it. So, for example, if you look at my – is there a way we can pull my Instagram up on the screen? Because I think it'd be helpful.
Let's see if we can –
I got it.
You got it? All right. Don's on it right now.
Yeah, because I think that would be like helpful because I can walk them through each photo and like how I got it.
Huh?
Does it want it pinned?
No, he wants to get it on the link so we can pull it up through here. You can get his Instagram if you want to log in. Oh shit!
Because I can like walk the guys through like one by one how I got each photo.
Perfect. Yeah, I can get the link to it. Here, I'll put the link to his Instagram on there. But yeah, actually that'd be dope, like step by step, like walkthrough. But anyways, keep going on while we're getting that.
Okay, yeah. So like kind of more general stuff. You want to look natural. The photo should look very natural. And the third component is that you want the vibe of the photo to be good. So that means like what's in the background. Like some people, like for example, they'll have a good photo of them, but like in the background looks like a crack alley or something like that. Like it's like Jesus Christ, where was this taken? Or like there's like some like dude with his shirt off or something like that, or like it's a bunch of bros looking like they're about to have a circle jerk. So you want the vibe of the photo generally to be like good, it's like some like cool environment or something like that, not like some really weird like alley or something like that.
So let's say because what other types of profile pictures should the guys have in there? So should they have photos with them with other guys, not other guys, but like other like people to show that they're active? Like what other type of
I think that's actually a big misconception is that you need like social photos. For the record, I don't have a single social photo on my Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big misconception. It can help if it's done right. If it's like a lot of guys make the mistake they have like it's just like them and their bros and it looks too broy. So if you're like at a pool party, like daytime, you have like some girls, some guys, that's a fine. But like if it's just like you and your bros or like you and a bunch of chicks, that's not really like, especially at a club, that's not really giving the right kind of impression. So at that point, you'd be better off with just going a photo of yourself. Like again, daytime, group photos, mixed group, that's good. But nighttime, like at a club especially, and it's just like you and your bros, or like you and just like a bunch of chicks, or you can tell they're not even into you. You're just like, hey, girls, can I take a picture with you? And like girls can kind of read through that.
Yeah, no, you got to be able to be genuine. So now one thing I noticed is that guys do take pictures, like let's say if they're doing like stuff like fishing or like outdoorsy type stuff like that. What would you say about if they're trying to convey like their hobbies and things like that? What is a proper way to do that where it doesn't come off as like how do you say, like one of those guys who are like super into like freaking hey, here's my fishing lines and here's all the everything about fishing and stuff like that. How would you convey that?
Yeah. Well, some hobbies you can't, like for example, hunting, right? Like there's a lot of guys who are into guns, but I'll be like, yeah, that's a no-go because if you put a gun on Tinder, a lot of chicks will get freaked out. So there's some hobbies that work better than others, but fishing can definitely work. Activity photos are great. That's what I encourage guys to do. So for example, if you're fishing, You want to get like a good angle. Again, not like you fucking putting the thing on the rod. No one cares about that. But you actually sitting there, or you may be like reeling in a fish. Again, you looking good. We're gonna pull it up. There we go. Oh yeah, let's go through a few photos. Let's start off with the first one, the motorcycle one. Can we like full screen that? Oh, why is it doing that? Oh, now I can't hear anything. But we can, even if we can't blow it up.
My bad. I put myself on mute. I was trying to coach it through it. But yeah, no, we're gonna get it all logged in here. I don't want you guys to see our login. Freaking stands out there. Hey, dude, you know they're freaking making fake profiles now, man.
I saw Fresh Prince in here.
Dude, it was crazy, man. They're out here. They're crazy. Like that live that we had after you left, we had like another crazy conversation. But they were like literally in there pretending to be fresh and fit, pretending to be Rollo Tomasi. Like it was crazy, man. I'm like, how much? See, this is the kind of bullshit that I'm talking about. Y'all motherfuckers got too much time on your fucking hands. They made like 20 profiles. It's crazy. So do not be alarmed if you see yourself commenting on here, man, because these people are fucking weird. So like, we've been getting a lot of that.
I see like Duke and Don, the fake Duke and Don profile. Dude, why don't you come on and debate us? Like seriously,
facts.
I don't want to put it, but if you feel strongly against what we're saying, come on and debate us. Let's have a man-to-man debate. I'm always down for that.
No, the thing is, we challenged one of them. They showed up, but then they kind of hopped off the stream too. So it was just like. A
lot of guys are really comfortable talking shit behind the screen, but they'll never like say it to your face. But
you know what the crazy thing is? They only talk shit to the female. That was it. Like nothing against us, the dudes, me, Allende, or anything like that. Only to the girls. That's who they talk shit to. And it was just like, yo, you guys are freaking weird, bro. Like we're right here. All right, we're all good now. So we're gonna save that. Well, hang on. Oh, screw you, Google. We're not right now. All right, so we're gonna click on that bike one here.
All right, cool. So yeah, let me kind of dissect that. So you might think, looking at this, you might be like, "Oh yeah, Alex is a badass guy. He's got like a badass motorcycle.
Look at that husky.
He's got a badass. Well, the dog is really mine. He's got a badass dog.
Oh.
What's the real story here? The real story is that my delivery driver was dropping off some shit for me, and he has a badass bike, and I'm pretty friendly with him. And I was like, "Hey man, I like your bike. Can I take some pictures on it so I can look cool for the gram?" And he's like, "Sure, dude." And so I took some. So I was like, "Yo, man, take some pictures of me." So we took like 50 photos of me on his bike, and one of them came out pretty good. And then we used there's a face app to put a fake smile on my face.
Whoa! That's awesome. Wait, time out. That's not even what?
Yeah, you can use these apps there's limitations to what you can do with them, but you can definitely like give yourself a fake smile.
Whoa, hey guys, take freaking notes. And here's the thing, right? Because you can let us tell us how to move around too, by the way. But like a lot of times, one thing I noticed, man, when you saw a lot of guys, because how girls when they before they put the right photo up that you see on Instagram or some of these other social platforms, they've already taken like hundreds of that same kind of shot, that same kind of pose.
Photos.
Go exactly. So y'all, in order to get this right, y'all have to put in the exact same effort too as well, man. Don't think it's just like a woman thing. You got to put in that effort, and the woman will see that too. You got the one with the guitar here. Let's go to this one. What is this one supposed to?
Actually, that one's decent. It's not that great because I don't use this one on my Tinder. Let's go down.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't use this one on my Tinder. Let's scroll down a little bit. Let's go to the barbecue one. The one
right here?
Yeah, this one, because I use this one on my Tinder. So this one. So you might think, "Ooh, Alex is a badass barbecuer." In reality, we were just lucked into staying at this nice place, and there's not even anything on the grill. The grill is not even on. I'm like, "Yo, dude, I have an idea. You just gotta be creative with it if you don't do cool shit." I'm like, "Yo, dude, take a pictures of me. We got a cool background view of me on this grill." And we took like 100 photos, and this one turned out to be good, right? So again, looks like I'm doing something cool, but in reality, like I'm not. All right, let's go to the wine one, for example. Let's go up. Go up a little bit. There's one where I'm pouring wine. I use that on my Tinder.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, that's a good photo. So you might think, "Ooh, Alex probably has some hot bimbo over his place." In reality, I was home for a week visiting my mommy, and I got just a new shirt after shopping with my dad. And I was like, "Hey, moms, take a picture of me in this new shirt pouring your wine." And she did. She took like 100 photos of me, and this one came out good. but the girl doesn't know that, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's a whole element of faking. Like, I'm not a big advocate of complete faking until you're making it, but you just gotta be creative. Like, you can turn a lot of things into a good photo. Let's go down a little bit more. Let me see what else I got.
Oh, look at this one. I like that one.
Yeah,
Got the one with the puppy too.
Yeah, the puppy wants to get. All right, let's do like the workout one. This one I no longer use on my Tinder. I used to, but basically,
Okay.
what's the story with that one? So, I was living with my then and girlfriend at the time, and we were just like high as fuck. And for some reason, we wound up at the gym in my building, and I was like, "Oh, babe, take some pictures of me. I look pretty good right now." And so she took a bunch of pictures of me, and I look good in this one. So that's like the story there.
Yeah, so like he went back with the what we're talking about, like you gotta have one at least shirtless photo of you if you look good, guys. That's one of the other things. You got one in the gym. You want to be able to show different things. So like, guys, for those of you guys who are just filtering in right now, what we're talking about is if you're a guy who can't really, okay, you're not really up to anything. You're not really up to anything whatsoever. Your life is boring, right? How can I convey that I at least have some semblance of a lifestyle or hobbies, right? And that's what we're talking about here. Putting yourself in like literally different scenarios and being creative, right? You're at your mom's. She's got a freaking grill. Well, take a picture with it. What can you tell, right? Because you guys use this phrases all the time. A picture tells 1,000 words. All right, what story are you trying to tell right now? Through your photos, how are you going to try to convey that? So you don't have to be this crazy ass Instagram dude with fucking Lambos everywhere, right? And have OnlyFans bitches rate your shit. No, you don't have to do that, bro. You just go out, do your normal shit like you would in life, and then find creative situations to do it. Let me tell you something, right? Because we don't talk. Yeah, you got to be creative. Look, man, we got a lake down here, Lake Mendota, or which one's that lake where James Madison Park's at? Is that Mendota or Monona? Monona, right? We got Lake Monona, man. And me and my buddies, we're walking down because that's where they have the basketball courts and they got the, all the sand stuff and whatnot. And bruh, I shit you not, there were a bunch of chicks, like at least a group of like 3 or 4 of them, right? Literally dressed up, ready to go out, day out on the beach, pulled up, put everything up, set up, took photos, everything, just doing their little shots and everything for the gram, whatever it is they were taking photos. And I shit you not, bro. As soon as they were done taking photos, they got up and left. No spending time fucking playing volleyball. Didn't do anything. Bro, they just got their photos and got the fuck up out of there. And the only reason why we know this because my homies and I were like, oh shit, we're about to go fucking see what's going on up here. So we were just kind of casually like fucking seeing the situation. And all of a sudden it was like, yo, what? Oh, they just came for the shots. Like, yo, that's fucking crazy. But that's how serious a lot of these girls are when in terms of like putting themselves out there and taking shots and looking good. So just keep that in mind. You got to be up to that level too, but you just got to be a little bit creative, right? But yeah, let's continue.
I mean, those are kind of the bigger ones because those are the ones I use on my Tinder.
What is this?
Oh, I was actually. Yeah, I was in Key West, and I was for Christmas. Actually, I don't know how the fuck I wound up there. As like a family friend, and there was like a bunch of these fucking, I don't know what they're called. They're like fucking belugas or whatever.
Yeah,
and, they loved water. I don't know why, because they're fucking swimming in it. So I was just fucking around. Actually, this was just me purely fucking around.
But I mean, guys, we got the message here, man. I mean, that's pretty much it, right? So if you're new, you're starting out, you don't know what it is you need to do, you don't know how to convey a lifestyle, right? This is one of the ways you can do it, man. You gotta be creative. So let me ask you this: what are one ways a guy can now take, basically just listening to you? How can he take that and then look at his daily life, and how can he try to figure out that creativity? What are ways that can help him at least try to spontaneously start at least looking out for those scenarios?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I guess it depends on that guy's daily life, but try to go into like every like again, like, I mean, I don't think it's healthy to be like thinking 24/7, how can I get a good picture, right? Because then you're just gonna be like crazy. But I do like try to keep my eyes open for it. Like, let's say I'm again, like when that delivery driver came, I saw his bike, I was like, that's a badass bike. I'm gonna look even more badass on that bike. Let me get a picture of that, So I think you just got to keep your eyes open. You just got to be like, again, like a little bit more creative. I know it's kind of vague advice, but in order to get like specifics, I would need to know like that guy's specific situation, like where they live, what they do, what kind of friends they have. But okay, let's just take the bike one. I'm sure you know someone who has a bike, even if it's your neighbor. knock on their door and say, I did this in the past. I was doing a photo shoot like 5 years ago. Well, this is a completely different bike photo. And we were walking down the street. I saw a badass bike and I knocked on this guy's door and I was like, yo, man, I really like your bike. He's like, I was like, can I take a few pictures on it? I promise I won't fuck it up. He's like, sure, man. And then we got some badass bike photos. So, that's how you can get like a bike photo. Okay, barbecue photo, right? Like if you're just going to mimic my ideas. Sure, someone who has a barbecue. Like there's got to be someone who has a barbecue grill. Get there, be like, yo, man, all right, you have a barbecue? Yeah, cool. Listen, let me bring some steaks, and then before we do it, I want to actually take some pictures to make it seem like I'm barbecuing. Okay, sure. So you just got to be creative and you can't be afraid to go for it. And just like kind of most people, if you go for it, most people will be agreeable unless it's like some outrageous request. Let me get a picture of you fucking your wife.
Like your wife's in a bikini. Come and get one. Just guys, no, you don't want to be too crazy, man. That's the thing. You find different goals. Guys, I'm telling you, chicks do this all the time. I won't tell you how many times chicks would probably you some of the cars that you see them taking photos in, that's probably not theirs. They probably either saw that car and decided to take a photo of it or asked the guy, whoever owns the car, to take the photo of it, all right? Or in certain situations where they got meals and stuff like that. So you got to understand that you use different opportunities to be able to convey your lifestyle and your personality. That all goes towards it, right? You're an outing with dudes, girls, and the party and all that stuff like that, man. You guys are having a good time. Take a moment to freaking have a picture, right? At least have more girls in the photo than the other side around, but you're having a fucking good time, right? Just like, hey, I'm a social person. I'm cool with people. I know how to interact in a social setting, right? Don't have too many pictures of you, in the mirror, taking photos and stuff like that. You want to kind of limit that, and a balance of lifestyle and like just a lot of just normal shit that you would do, right? And be creative with it. Now, one thing, how important is editing their photos and all that stuff, like applying
really
different edits and stuff? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people overblow it, but it's really not that important. You can only do so much with editing. Like you can make your photos maybe 10% better, 15% better. You're not going to make them 50% better. So a lot of my photos I don't even edit. Some of them will have minimal editing, but yeah, I don't do too much of that. I don't think it's that important.
Okay. So someone's taking, let's say someone listening right now, they're like, all right, well, this guy definitely knows what he's talking about. All right, I'm gonna figure out what he's got going on. First of all, what are you gonna get out of working with you, Alex?
Well,
he's like, oh, where do you want to start?
Yeah, well, it depends on what that dude's problems are, honestly. But you get an honest assessment of what your situation is. I mean, I kind of tell it like it is. And then you get a actionable plan on what to do next. Like it's up to you whether you're going to follow it or not. Some of my clients, they just like to hear me talk, and they're like, okay, this was awesome, and then they just don't follow up. Okay, it's on them. But you are going to get, like, first of all, honest assessment of what you're doing wrong, and then action steps you can take to improve. But it's up to you, those action steps, right? I can tell you exactly how to do it. I can encourage you, but I'm not going to do it for you, right? That's
right.
So it's basically, what it is.
Okay. So it's taking that, having the plan laid out and being able to follow through. That's it. Being able to just do it. That's the one main thing. Just being able to go out there and say, all right, if I got to change this photo, I got to change this photo. Let me actually go out there and try to find the right shot. Let me spend some time, moving some things around to be able to focus on that. Because a lot of times I think the mentality behind a lot of guys when it comes to this whole social media thing and like dressing up their profile and stuff, I think it's one of those things where they have that already ingrained idea where it's not worth their time or anything like that. And in all reality, it most definitely is worth your time, right? It's something that you want to pay attention to and focus on, because that's going to be an ever increasing trend. A lot of people are going to be looking at social media now. That's a lot of people's lives, man. You can tell a lot about a person just based off of what they have online. So you want to start getting into that game, I'm not saying in-person stuff is going away, not saying that, I want to go into that too as well, like setting up dates and things like that with the girl, how to actually start closing texting wise. But you guys, you want to make sure that you're actually going out there and trying and taking action. This is another positive skill that you definitely want to learn. So if a guy wanted to close, right, in texting wise, and he's having problems with it, what are different closing methods that they should take routes wise?
Well, you gotta progressively move things forward, right? If you're texting a girl and you've been talking, you have like 10 screenshots worth of conversation, and by screenshot 10, you're exactly where you were by screenshot 2, then you're doing something wrong. Like you got to be moving things forward.
You're making an interview, guys.
Yeah, towards the meetup, honestly. And so how do you go about it? Well, generally speaking, I like to close on a high note. So once we get some back and forth going, some rapport, the chick's invested, I'll smoothly move things towards the meetup. I'll let me see if I can just like find some examples and I'll just like read it out from my phone from chicks I'm talking to. Okay, I think here's one. Let's pull up this girl. Where are you, woman? Okay. Okay, so here's one. So this is on text already. So we had talked on Bumble. I text her my name, Alex. She says hello. I say, how's my favorite Argentinian? Because she's from Argentina. Haha, you have more Argentinian. Haha, just kidding. How are you? I say, you're the only one that matters. And then I send her a really cute picture of me playing with my dog. It says, I'm good, just hanging out with this guy. She says, oh, I love him. So cute. I say, he says he's excited to meet you. That's my way of like moving things forward, right? He says, he's to meet you. She says, me too, more than meet you. Sorry, but it's true. I say, breaking my heart. She says, I will fix it. Don't worry. I say, oh, yeah. And she sends me a winky emoji. So at that point, it's like pretty easy. Like at that point, she's already, agreed to like basically low key agreed to meet. So at that point, I might be like, do you like Quan? She'll be like, yeah. I'm like, cool. Let's put a ball sometime soon. Just you smoothly segueing it towards the close, right? You might not be smooth as, for example, as that, but you might be a little bit more choppy, but that's okay. It's better to be like a little choppy, but moving things forward than not moving things forward at all.
Yeah, that's good. You mind taking questions, by the way?
Yeah, of course.
All right, guys, we're gonna leave the last 15, 20 minutes or so. We already put the link in the chat. Call in, come on in if you guys have any questions, guys. Now is the freaking time, man. You are sitting in front of a master that knows his craft. So you want to be able to ask him these questions and be able to pick his brain a little bit, man. So you want to be able to talk about that because you have a master class that teach other guys how to be able to get to where they need to be in terms of game. So there are guys who come out of there, they're very successful in there. And you just heard how he coaches people, man. He's going to make you try. So he's gonna be one of the ones that's gonna be very, very straightforward with you. So if you're a guy, you got a question you want to ask, go ahead and come on in, man. Let's go ahead and have chat. The link's below. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and continue. So we already talked about basically approaching and doing a little openers and whatnot, and we kind of talked about the innuendos and how to keep conversation going. And now we just kind of touched up on asking for the close and how to be able to do that. Now, what do you think a guy should be doing throughout that entire process? Because you kind of hinted at it before, where you're saying like throughout the whole process, you want to be, having these different it's not undertones, but like letting it known that, hey, it's going to be, I forgot the exact word you used, man. But it's going to be, hey, the sexual kind of undertone and like, hey, this is what I'm all about. And, are you asking for the close like throughout the entire process? And how would the guy be able to do that? I guess I kind of like mix things up a little bit. I just mixed two questions in one, but you get what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah. So there's two answers to that. Well, one, I've gotten pretty good at like, just kind of tying various themes in there, like I'm pretty good at like while moving things forward.
Oh, dude, we got a troll. I'm sorry, bro. I gotta block this troll that made a count of you. Hold on.
Ooh. Can we get some fresh and fit stance to come on to debate us? I want to get a good fresh and fit. I want to get a good.
Damn, I just blocked him. But hey, look, if you make another troll account of Playing with Fire, he's more than willing to debate you. I'm sorry, dude. Like I try to make sure these guys are respectful, but these look, Hey, come here. How about you come? How about you come on the show, bro? Come here. Come on. How about you come on the show? You can talk to the guy you're pretending to be, right? You wish you could be. Go ahead. He's right here. You freaking clown. Get out of here, man. Get the lights up, by the way.
You like use my logo and everything. That's crazy.
Dude, I'm telling you, these guys are weirdos, man. You definitely know he's a former Stan. We got a caller in, Adam C. Oh shit, he's just getting ready. Come on in, bud. How you doing, buddy?
Just give me a second to set up and everything.
All right, I'm gonna get you out of here, but go ahead and get set up and let us know. All right. Hey, no, it's all right. Black light, man. It's cool, man. You doing your thing. I appreciate you being here. It's just sometimes these guys, I don't know how they come through the freaking. Yeah, man. Look, hey, listen, man. Listen. The link's open. It's pinned to the top. Come talk to us.
Dude, they never do it, man.
They never do.
They hide behind the keyboard. Yeah.
You goddamn warrior, man. You guys are crazy. Hit the link right here. We're right here. We'll talk to you, man. Listen, and you know what I found out? Like some of these guys, it's not that they're trying to be dicks. Well, maybe they are, but like a lot of them, they truly don't understand. We had one of them with a fake account of Duke and Don, and they were like, literally, as we got into the subject matter, all of a sudden it was like, oh shit, this person's being real honest about their lives right now, not being able to have women show the same level of attraction to them and things like that. I mean, they were going back and forth in the chat, and they end up changing his name from Duke and Don to the troll, but still kept our logo. So it's like, all right, we're getting to him a little bit, right? You guys are picking the word. So that's why I don't mind you guys doing that, but don't fucking hide behind somebody else's name, bro. That just makes you more of a bitch than you actually are. All right, especially if the real deal's sitting right in front of you. Why would you want to hide? Just talk to him, bro. You ready? You ready, Adam? All right, looks like he's good. All right, let's add him up. What's up, man? Hey. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate you being on here, man.
Yeah, for sure. Just give me a minute to process stuff. I'm a little bit nervous.
Don't worry about it, man.
Live stream stuff and shit. But I do enjoy watching your content. I do enjoy watching people's podcasts, so on and so forth. Like, for example, Duke and Don's you. And
appreciate it, man.
Shout out Kevin Samuels and Abba and Preach. I enjoy them. I enjoy a lot of them. It gets my mind thinking, my mentality going, and I'm gonna state off first. I'm that 18-year-old that commented that first question.
Oh man, so welcome. I appreciate you being here, man. Seriously,
yep. Anytime.
What was the first question?
That was it. We were talking about why is it important to even focus on Tinder dating. Remember when I asked you that? Yeah, right earlier. So yeah, dude, you're on here with us, man. Go ahead, like literally ask away.
So I do have some disagreements and agreements with what's your name, Alex, with your texting games and stuff, so on and so forth. The agreements that I have are just the basics. Don't worry about texting if they don't answer back. They're probably busy, sleeping, whatever the hell they're doing during that time. I gotta go move on as a young man. I gotta go do either take care of my sister currently, clean the house. Mother's out for now at the moment, so I'm mostly as, I guess, the mother around the house since I'm the oldest. And I came to more of an appreciation of my mother being around and so on and so forth. So that's really much of that. The disagreement that I have is about taking photos about Instagram every single second that you have. I'm more of a person to enjoy the moment without technology. I enjoy living in the moment. I do see the value in implementing more photos to the gram, to Tinder, and so on and so forth. But it's not my vibe. It's not my
No, I get that. Let me kind of address that. So I'm definitely not saying you should be taking photos every second. So that you will never hear me say that, right? Because I don't believe that. I'm also actually a person who enjoys living in the moment. Like I actually try to have periods where I don't check my phone. What I'm saying is that let's say you're hanging out with your friends for 2 hours and you're barbecuing. You can take 2 minutes and take some photos and then spend the hour and 58 minutes living in the moment. So it doesn't have to be like this extreme all or nothing where it's just like you're only taking photos or you're only living in the moment. There's a common sense balance that you can use where you take a few photos, but the rest of the time you put your phone down and you live in the moment.
And yeah, I guess I just wanted to make sure and ask that is that really the way you're thinking, or are you giving off a different message? I just want to clarify that and try to get a better understanding of.
No, yeah, my message is like, use common sense and balance. Like again, like let's say you're barbecuing for 2 hours. Again, you don't have to take photos for 2 hours right every second. In fact, that will get annoying really fast. Like your friends are probably not going to hang out with you. But if you take photos for a few minutes, that's not really going to ruin the moment. And then you go back and hang out with your friends.
Hey, bro, do you want to talk to your troll?
Oh yeah,
he's got a fake playing with fire account out here. Should we give him? Hey, Don's saying don't give him. He's like, hey, look, playing with fire, fake playing with fire in the backstage there. Hey, look, if you're not, you got to show your face, bro. We're not gonna flame you. We're gonna have an honest conversation. If you're gonna be backstage, like pretending to be the real deal, like we gotta be able to see your face, bro. Like real talk. He honestly wants to talk to you. He promises not to be mean, right?
I promise. I'm thinking promise.
Bro.
Nice.
Hey, look, we just come here. Come on. You're gonna show your face or not? I gotta see your face. Otherwise, we're not gonna add you to the stream. Anyway, sorry about that. I just want to let you know that he's backstage right now. Go ahead.
I'm excited.
Yep.
But yeah, does that kind of answer your question, Adam?
Yeah, that basically is just I just want to get a better mentality. I'm trying to learn along the way. I've been on a few dates. I've been in relationships. I would say total tally of 5. But I've noticed myself in trends of like doing things that how do I say it? What grown men don't usually do, messing around. I'm not. I feel like I'm more of a marriage-minded person. I don't like the idea of just going in and trying to see something. Yes, I've thought about it as well, but there's something in me that kind of irks, kind of twists. That I'm like, oh, like why am I doing this? If I'm
what exactly? Let me just get a little clarification.
More clarification is just getting laid, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah. So when you fuck a random chick for a one night stand, you feel kind of iffy about it because you want to settle down with a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You know, I do occasionally get clients like that too. I mean, what I would say is 1, be very selective about the girl that you do settle down with. Which probably involves fucking some girls, but it doesn't mean it has to be a one night stand. You can fuck a girl and you feel like there's sexual chemistry and you like her, then you keep going out with her, right? Until either she fucks it up or you fuck it up, or hopefully no one fucks it up. But I mean, I don't see those as mutually exclusive things at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Usually, I'm very young. I'm still a virgin, so I've been close to sexually. Reaction or interaction before.
Okay.
I've just never wanted to pass over it because I'd have that fear in me still, in a way.
You gotta get over that fear, man. I didn't know you were a virgin, but because you said you like went out with 5 girls, so I just assumed you smashed. But yeah, you do gotta get laid. You do gotta get laid. You do gotta get some sexual experience. So that when you do meet a girl you really like, you can kind of lock her down. A lot of chicks are not going to be interested in going out with a virgin, period. So you do kind of have to get over that.
Yep. Other than that, no, I'm just gonna keep on listening to you guys. Try my best to get the best of my brain going and everything.
I appreciate that, man. I got a question for you. So why do you think? Because I want to go back to your earlier question. Why do you think investing your time in understanding text game particularly, was a waste of time? Why would you believe that? I just want to get you to pick your brain on that. Go ahead.
Mainly because I was in high school. I've texted females during that time and so on and so forth. It was very little. I guess my experience with texting is little. That's why I'm saying that. Since now we talked about it, I heard you guys talking about it. The reason why many men or many us younger men say that is because we have little to no experience.
Yeah.
So I've now have more of a realization, maybe I need to implement talking to a girl, maybe in person, try to talk to them if I can, or if I cannot, see how it goes, talk to multiple, more than one. Recently, for an example for myself, I've started working at a company, Walmart. And I was like, you know what? Let's make this as my goal. Let's just stay 4 months inside this department of Walmart and go to the automotive. That's one of my goals. I'm setting myself a limit. But other than that, I've also set a goal in that 4 months. I would try to converse with multiple women that are in there working, so I could get myself familiar, like how things go,
that's a good thing that you just mentioned too, and I want to get your point on it too, Alex. What are different methods that he can use right now to actually start getting comfortable in terms of dealing with, like, at least talking to women and stuff like that? What are different things?
I'm gonna be honest, I'm fairly comfortable
Okay.
speaking with some women. I'm not really that nervous, but I do tend to shy away when it's not really when I don't feel the vibe. I'm more of an energetic person. I'm very energetic. I do like to joke around. I do like to mess around. But I feel like that's a sort of way that conveys a little neediness or a little too much. I'm not sure. It's the lack of
So
confidence that
is being
brings out.
yourself, you think that's going to convey neediness? And Alex, please feel free to chime in at any point, please.
Well, what you got to be careful of is that you're not coming up with excuses to
Mhm.
avoid your fears, which is a very easy trap to fall into. Like, oh, like your fears, for example, being alone with a woman or banging a new chick or whatever, then you can come up with an excuse like, oh, I just wasn't feeling her vibe, right? But in reality, you just like, we're looking for an excuse. So it's like an easy trap a lot of guys fall into. I mean, in terms of at work, I mean, I personally am not a big believer in shitting where you eat. So I would personally try to meet girls through online and through cold approach and shit like that, rather than like at work. I mean, if you do strike it up with a chick at work, that's awesome. But like, I wouldn't really hardcore practice with girls at work because it's an easy way to be out of a job.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to convey that or keep that in mind to just kind of shy away. And I've already have experienced that as well. Of what do you say? Don't eat where you shit or something like that.
Oh,
That you
yeah,
just
that,
Yeah.
I've
yeah.
tried
Don't eat
that.
where you
I
should
worked
either.
in yeah, yeah. I've worked in the food service and I was just hitting up this chick and then I was like, oh man. Then I decided to leave and well shit it got rocky and we just stopped talking. So it
Mm.
was just it was an experience. So then I probably would take that advice and try to implement that. I'm
Not
here to
probably. You will take that
it
advice
will
and
I will.
implement it.
I tend to say probably because well
No,
I'm
man, you
unsure.
gotta learn how to be
Yeah.
more certain, man. That's part of like
Mhm.
manhood, right? It's certain. So
Yes.
the more you get experience and you dive into different things, you're more you're more certain of it, man. And girls like that. The guys just like yeah, maybe.
And that's
You're
what
like, what
that's
is this
another
dude, right? You know what I'm saying?
that's another thing that I want to work on is that I want to be straightforward. I want to
More
be
assertive.
more assertive, more dominant, more I've I don't want to be that shy away guy. I've been that shy away guy. So then I feel like being more assertive, it just brings more dopamine. It brings more pleasure to myself.
Okay.
So you got to practice getting outside your comfort zone, doing things that make you progressively more and more uncomfortable. That's like the best way.
Hmm. Okay.
So what would
So
you recommend for him? Like how like
yeah, other
I'm
than
sure that's what he's thinking right now. He's like, what? Well, comfortable,
where would I
out of
go?
comfortable. Where do I go? What do I do?
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'll kind of answer the question broadly. Here's what I would do if I was like switched bodies with you and I was in your shoes right now.
Okay.
I would do the following things. One is I would start hitting the gym 4 times a week. Um, I would definitely try to lose some weight and put on muscle. I would definitely watch my diet. Two, I would scrap the glasses for contacts. Three, I would get a fresh haircut.
You getting
Four,
game right now, bro. He's taking
four,
out
I
his
would
notepad. Go.
Four, I would wear clothes that fit me a little better. Although I do like your shirt, I just think it's a little big on you. That would be some things I would do. Five is I would try to make some career goals because you don't want to be working at Walmart for a long
No,
period of
obviously,
time.
yeah.
So I would make a very clear career plan of what you can do and follow it to a T. I would probably not try to game chicks at work because that could interfere with your finances. For game, I would probably try to one do cold approach, get into that, meet some wings in your area. Where do you live? Like what city are you in?
I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Oh
Okay,
shit, I'm in Wisconsin. We damn near neighbors, bro.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay,
Yeah,
I was not
bro. We out here.
expecting you
Hey,
to be
we out here
close.
in the Midwest. We living it up over here. Except for when it comes
Yeah.
to wintertime. Ain't shit going on right here. Wintertime. You gotta fly out,
and
bro.
and I heard Kevin telling you say so many times just recently. I've been watching his live stream more, and then I guess I've been dabbling in yours as well, Duke and Don. That winter is coming, so then it's just things that like winter is coming. Winter is coming. That's when hookup season starts. Like people are moving, people are going. Life doesn't stop. Yes, obviously, I will take your advice, Alex. I've already booked an appointment this weekend, or not this weekend, this upcoming Wednesday, to get my hair cut. I'm planning to get contacts. I really don't like these glasses. I had glasses in second grade. I want to get rid of them.
But also kind of just start interacting with chicks. Get on Tinder, get on Bumble, get on Hinge, start doing cold approach, start trying to meet some girls and get some right?
Hey, Troll, I'm glad you're in here, by the way. I appreciate it. That's the guy I was talking about who made the fake Duke and Don account and changed his name. I'm glad you're seeing the light, man. Hey, real talk. If you actually want to debate Alex too as well, I mean, we're not going to be crazy or anything like that. Feel free to come on board too. I'm going to leave the link a little bit on for the next 2-3 minutes. But if you want to go, I actually fucked with you, bro. Like, real talk. I just think, I'm glad you changed the name. You can leave the logo, whatever. I don't give a fuck. But just don't have the same Duke and Don name. Don't hide behind people, man. But if you want to, feel free to come up here and talk to us too. I'd more than likely welcome you. But yeah, I like what he said about you, man. I mean, you're just learning the proper stuff. But go ahead, Alex. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so I would do those things. I would try not to let your look. I understand you said you're looking for marriage, blah blah blah. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But get some experience with women first. Go get laid a little more. Then you can pick from a place of abundance instead of a place from scarcity. Because I almost guarantee you that if you get married now, you marry the first chick that you ever banged, chances are you're going to be picking based on wherever will have you, not based on what you want and what you need. So get some abundance, then you can look for a long-term partner. Yeah, that's kind of what I would do if I were you. I would just like approach it from all fronts. Fitness.
Yeah, and funny enough, I'm working in Walmart, like I said, and I see so many older people who don't look very fit, or people in my age who are kind of getting bellies and so on and so forth, or a little bit older, and I'm like, wow, I have that. I am going to the gym, just to clarify, like 3 times a week. I am just keeping that down. Pretty much a new goer. I'm trying my best to keep it up. I do tend to lack motivation. My only motivation that I recently noticed is that whenever I start talking to chicks, or whenever I start thinking that I have a little game or some stuff, I start hitting the gym a little harder. Like that's something
we
that
all get
requires me.
motivated by different things. I mean, personally, I get motivated by adversity. So I get motivated when some YouTuber talks shit about me. That's when I get my most motivated.
You got that Tom Brady going on, bro. He's like, hey, keep talking that shit, bro.
I think they call it being reverse wired. So I'm reverse wired. That's when I get when things are going well. That's when I lose motivation. So I get my most motivated when a chick rejects me. When a girl is fully compliant, I kind of lose motivation. But when a chick is like, no, I don't want to go out with you, I'll be like, shit's off.
And that's where I want to get at. And that's where I want to get at myself personally.
But you might not be wired the same way as me. So you got to find what motivates you. It might not be that. Another thing that motivates me, which I recommend, is just reading autobiographies of successful people. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Elon Musk, what's his name? Steve Jobs is a pretty decent one.
Yeah.
Richard Branson, but Arnold Schwarzenegger is like my favorite by far out of all of them. And Elon Musk, it would be a close second. So reading those autobiographies is really good motivation as well.
All right. Anything else you want to add to it, man, while you have him on board? Listen, man, I suggest like some of the stuff that he's just telling you, that's just a tip of the iceberg. Have you checked out his YouTube channel? If not, do it, man. Check out his YouTube channel. If not, check out some of the other in-depth stuff that he has going on, because it's one of those things that, man, like this stuff is tailored for guys, not only with the beginning experiences like yours, but like other guys too who are coming in with all these different types of experiences too. Alex, is there anything you want to add to some of the other guys who are listening right now but didn't want to kind of like click the link to come in or anything like that? Like anything else you want to add, what they're going to get out of just like either what we talked about the topic here, or just working with you or watching your channel and things like that?
Yeah, with enough time and effort, pretty much a lot of things are possible. I mean, I'm going to release a video, I think, next week showing like some of my before and after pictures. I mean, I used to be 135 pounds. I'm 175 now. I put on 40 pounds of muscle, but it took years. I used to look like a fucking dork. I used to be really be awkward on camera. I used to suck with women, so I'm gonna show like before and after. But I guess like the point is that you can do a lot of things with enough time and enough effort, right? So I'm just kind of sharing the things that kind of worked for me, and there might be other things that work for you that I didn't try. But it's good to kind of find what drives you and then just use it to motivate you.
Adam, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it. All right. Well, guys, this is where we're going to come to an end, because we got another live stream with Day. We got 3 beautiful ladies that are going to be coming on to the show too as well. We're going to be talking about, I want you on there if you can, bro. I know you're a busy guy, but Alex, I know you'll be great for the panel. But we'll be talking about why do chicks date bums right after they got done dealing with the quote unquote good guys? Because I know that's one of the questions that some of the guys out there who've had girlfriends and their girlfriends or wives or whatever it is has moved on from them, and you think you're the good guy to someone who thinks you think may not be of as valuable as you to the relationship. So we're gonna be covering that, and we're gonna get the ladies' perspective. Alex, you're welcome to join in. We're gonna be putting the link in the chat right now. Is it in?
Dude, I would love to. My girl's gonna be here any minute.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So it's gonna be in the chat. But yeah, next time we'll get it going and all that stuff like that. But that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna get it in. So go ahead, links in the description right now. Please hit that and get out. I'll see you guys over in the next live stream. With that being said, take it easy, y'all.
Awesome.
Peace.